What is up, RotoGrinders? Baseball. Talking baseball tonight, 7-gamer. The slate does not start, or at least the show did not start until we get a Dodgers lineup. The Dodgers lineup just dropped. Dodgers, the only team with a 5-run total projected tonight, just dropped a few minutes ago. A lot of the lineups are in. Myself, Bobby Gomes, over $1 million winner Bobby Gomes, as well as Kirk D's. For the taking you guys all up the first pitch tonight. We're going to be doing our tiers. It is a Film Friday. I'll go ahead and tell you guys today's first clue. Sure, why not? You were patiently waiting in the chat. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Hit all those buttons. Do everything to help us keep the lights on. We do appreciate that. Discord is where you answer Film Friday. You get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Don't have to pay for it. Get all the bells, all the whistles, all the sports, everything with the exception of NASCAR a la carte. But you tell me what film I'm talking about. In the Discord channel, be the first person to do so. One guess per clue. And you get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Dream is that first clue. Scrolling right now. Discord channel does not cost you anything. Just got to be a regular RG member, regular RG account. Bobby Gomes, we got some baseball tonight. Get excited. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Nice to be not dealing with NBA. Don't have to do too much work up to lock. So it's going to be a much more seamless show, I would say, as we get towards the game times. Yeah, I'm excited for MLB. I think it's going to be a good year.
Kirkwood, you have a similar excitement? Well, we can't hear it in your voice because you're mute, sir.
Psyched to be doing a show with Gomes. The Boston boys are back in town here. So, yeah, and I've been told I'm perfectly framed right now. So, I think that's good because I put a lot of work into my framing. So it's nice to see dividends paying off there. But
you told me that. You said that before. You were big on the framing. Dean's good with the frame. He's always directly in the middle. Yeah, it's like you line up your head to a.
He goes. He likes it like it's like a W. A little.
What? A W?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's what I aim for. 7-gamer tonight's going to be doing our tiers here in a second. First, we're going to talk about some pitchers, do a little overview as well. Later on in the show, we'll go position by position, give our favorite plays. First base, catcher, all the positions. Answering your questions at the end of the show, some homer calls as well. General overview, Bobby, as far as the slate tonight. We still have some good pitchers. The number ones, not just yet. Well, some number ones. Some of these games, it's their team's first game. Chris Sale, Chris Reagans, Cole Reagans. We still have some number ones. No Coors game, no Athletics game as far as one of their home games. So nothing is crazy as far as home environment. It's not especially hot anywhere. A little hotter, I guess, than normal typically for Atlanta. One of the hotter places tonight. High 70s, maybe possibly in the 80s, give or take. But yeah, Bobby, I'm giving you the overview. How we see in the slate, and the Dodgers certainly dictated with their 5 total. By the way, Alex Freeland is in. Rojas is out for what it's worth. Freeland in the 9-hole. That's Ohtani, Tucker, Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Muncy, Teoscar, Hernandez, Andy Pajes, homered last night, and Alex Freeland in the 9-hole. That is your Dodger lineup. Bobby, you have a little bit of general overview as far as how we're attacking tonight's slate.
Yeah, general overview for me. It's kind of condensed up to Ovid pitching, basically. Sale, Kirby. Those are probably your 2 that you're probably trying to get to. If you're playing cash, massive chalk in that scenario. The other pitchers, I tend to believe I want to get to Cole Reagans, and Sale's probably going to be the guy that I'm going to be underweight on. Emmett Sheehan versus Arizona, I think, is interesting for tournaments, but mainly for pitching, Sale, Kirby, stacks. Obviously, the Dodgers. How you're going to play the Dodgers? Whether you're going to play Ohtani, all these other guys on the Dodgers seem to have they're not the same price tag, and they have near similar ceiling. So, not exactly similar to probably the best player we've ever seen, but they profile really well. So it's just a matter of how you're going to play pitching with Sale and how you're going to play the Dodgers. It's kind of how I'm breaking down the slate. I think I'm probably going to be underweight on Sale and underweight on Ohtani.
Going to go a little bit more in depth as far as pitchers in a second. I do want to get Kirkwood. I want to get your general approach. How you see the slate tonight?
Well, general. I mean, it's 7-gamer. That's usually like my sweet spot, but it feels like there's just more chalk on this one than normal. And we're at the day 2, so the pitchers are still pretty good going here. So I've got some takes that I like. So I'm playing this. I'm playing too much chalk probably, but so be it. But as far as pitchers goes, we have everything. We can go up top, all the Chris Sale. We can go, Alcantara. I don't know if anyone's been following along in spring, but he's added a new cutter to the mix, and supposedly it's getting rave reviews, and he's looking like really, really strong. So everyone's really high on him. So I'm high on him. I always loved him. I knew he was battling back from last year from a serious injury. So I mean, this is a guy who always had the best changeup in baseball, one of the best at least. So there's a lot of ways to go. I can go all the way down. Even I like Burrow at pitcher too as well. So we'll get into that if I need cheap. So it's like I feel like I can do anything I want. If I want all the big bats, I can make it happen with pitching. And if I got extra salary, I can get up to Sale.
You making a one-man lineup tonight?
Yeah, one man on the show. We're from here all the way. I'm not. My computer gets so slow with these programs that like literally, if I was like building lineups, it just for some reason will take all my things down.
Kirkwood has about 300 tabs open right now.
that is no lie. But yeah, one lineup, no Yahoo, one lineup FanDuel, one lineup DraftKings.
I did adjust. Yeah, you're talking about we're going up to the bell. I'm hosting the show up to the bell, so I'm doing the same thing. I actually made my lineups before the show. It's not like basketball where you have to keep adjusting and news keeps on coming on through. So I think they're going to be safe. I feel like they're going to be safe. I might be wrong on a couple guys being in and out of the lineup, that kind of thing. We did get Christopher Morel scratched for the Marlins. If you missed that, yeah,
damn, he was going to be chalk too. So I was like happy about that because that guy can't hit for the.
He was so bad for Tampa. He was so much fun.
So bad this spring training when everyone else is smashing. He was just horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you seen Kyle Freeland? Can he hit better than Kyle Freeland can throw baseballs? Maybe. Yeah.
Revenge narrative for Freeland tonight. Just throwing it out there.
When will the Rockies ever be good again? Well, is it ever going to happen?
I don't know. When did Kyle Freeland play for the Marlins?
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that incorrectly. Never mind.
Bobby, you're disappearing, by the way. You're fading away, just so you know. I don't know if there's lack of light in your room or something like that, but yeah. All right. There you go. You look at now I can see you all of a sudden. All right. I did ask for like a general overview. I do want to get pictures, talk about pictures. You guys touched on pictures. I want to get more into it. And then, of course, we're going to do our tiers. We're going to throw our teams on the board. We're going to, see where our stacks land. I think the stacks tonight are kind of straightforward. I think there's a pretty clear have and have not. Baseball, weird things happen all the time. Yesterday, Paul Skeens didn't last an inning, in part because of Cruz, I suppose. But he threw too many pitches in the first inning. They said that's it. He's got to get the hook. That's just going to happen sometimes. And random teams are going to put up 10 runs. And Lau hit a couple homers last night. Somebody you got to put in your back pocket is the second baseman for Arizona. I'm losing his name for some reason. No, not Arizona. For Cleveland, Chase DeLauder was spectacular last night, banging out a couple homers. He's always at the talent, just always getting injured.
Oh, the mush was in effect on day one. I noticed.
What was the mush?
You said Joey Weimer or something, and you said unless you said Weimer or something.
I didn't say Weimer.
Mushed him. You said it. You used his name in the show. You said.
What did I say?
You were saying like unless he's all of a sudden going to be good, which you were saying how bad this lineup was, and you said Joey Weimer and the likes, and then and he went yard. I noticed
he went yard first at bat too. Like that was.
Well, I also said Brandon Lau was like the best play in the first game, and he banged it.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear
that. He did get two though.
And I also said on the NBA show, I just said, hey, if you're playing the night slate, Chase DeLauder's your guy. I mentioned Chase DeLauder. Yeah. But, I get a lot of stuff wrong. That's how it's going to work, especially for baseball. You're going to get a lot of things wrong in baseball.
No, it was a wake up call yesterday. Like first day, I had Boyd right and like cruising, just absolutely cruising, like being like, haha, people paid up at pitcher, and then one little bad inning and single after single, and then it just erupted. And then it was that, oh, this is baseball, familiar feeling.
Yeah, you can never really get too comfortable with baseball. It is quite fickle and the most volatile, the biggest variance. Everybody's a GPP play, right? Everybody's a GPP play, and Shohei Ohtani 15, 20 times a year is going to give you a 0. That's just how it's going to go. Everybody's got a floor of 0. Okay, let's knock out some pitchers. We did touch on Sandy Alcantara. Sandy was not good last year. I mean, we don't talk a lot of ERA, at least I don't talk a lot of ERA. It was 5.38 ERA last season. The Sierra tells us he was a little bit unlucky, left on base less than 62%. And he's facing the Rockies. The Rockies they're not any better. The worst team in baseball offensively outside of Coors, specifically against righties. They're terrible. Not a lot of WOBA. Everything is bad as far as the Rockies. And Sandy was better in the second half. Like he had like a 3-ish ERA in the second half. Started correcting some things. You touched on it, Kirkwood. I guess it sounds like you were going to play Sandy. He is coming in as probably the most popular pitcher on the board because you're getting a discount. You're getting a great ballpark to throw baseballs. Roof probably open this time of year. I've not seen a confirmation, but generally the Marlins open their roof to start the season. And then you got the Rockies. Have we said they stink? They stink. Are you in on Sandy chalk?
Yes. Yes, he was my number one, with just going through things without looking at ownership or anything. He was my number one. The reports have been awesome. Like I said, he's got one of the best changeups in baseball. Now adding a cutter. He's supposedly looking really solid throughout all spring. And he's also been stretched out over 85 pitches. So, yeah, that at that price against the Rockies, who people don't understand how bad this team was, leading the league in Ks. I mean, they do, but when you see the numbers and you see on the road, they struck out 29% of the time, which was dead last by a mile. Their WRC plus was dead last by a mile. They just so I'm all about Sandy Alcantara. I'm playing him pitcher number 1 tonight. So on FanDuel, he's my number 1.
Ooh, yeah. You only got a roster 1 over there, and I think he's going to be the cash game pitcher over there as well. I'm pretty sure. So if you have the salary,
Kirby, I think, over on FanDuel probably. But
you got Kirby over Sale.
Oh no, that's for. I thought Kirby. It's going to be Kirby or Sale.
Yeah, I'm fine with either. I'm looking at the ownership stuff right now as far as what we have when it comes to pitchers. This stuff will change. Yeah, Sale 20%. This is FanDuel. Sandy at 17%. King at 13%. I'm fine with King, but he's not somebody I would play over Kirby. Kirby essentially the same price at 12%. Reagan's at 10%. I think he's an awesome tournament play. Reagan's kind of reverse splitsy. His numbers against the righties, Ks, are just outrageous. That Atlanta lineup is tough up top, but it falls off pretty quickly as far as the Braves. The back end is not exactly imposing. Bob, you touched on it as far as Sandy. It sounds like you're in on Sandy as well. Who are you pairing him with? Who's in your pool as far as pitchers? You were talking about some stands you were taking when it comes to guys like Sale and Kirby. Those guys are in my pool as well. Just reiterate your pitching stuff. Anything you want to add? Anybody you're actually Xing out necessarily, or somebody you're willing to go well with a field on?
Yeah, so for me, I said at the top of the show, Kirby would be my first pitcher in cash games. He'd probably be my third. I'd probably go to Alcantara and Sale if I was playing cash games. I think that makes the most sense. Again, these Rockies, the changeup is nasty. I don't mind being heavily overweight on Alcantara in this spot. Where I kind of differ is Sale. I think Reagan's is right there. Reagan's is a clear ace. 38.1% K rate, 15.8% swinging strike rate, 2.52% Sierra. It's very strong numbers, and he's going to be lower owned. I think he's showing around 15% just because he's facing Atlanta, and he costs $9K. He's 500 more than Kirby. He's obviously a little bit less than Sale, but he's only 200 less than Sale. He's just going to pretty much get lost in the shuffle there. So I like Reagan's. I like Gosman. I think Gosman's very much in play versus the Athletics. Those would be my two pitchers that if I wanted to get away from Chris Sale up top, I'd probably be going to those guys. Kirby, I can see myself playing him pretty much at the field. Alcantara, I'm going to try to get over that. I think for the Rockies is such a good matchup. And then going lower, Kirkwood hit on Mike Burrows. I think he's fine at 6,500 versus the Angels. So it's a good matchup there for him. I think you can also look to Emmett Sheehan at 7,800 versus Arizona. Those would be the main pitchers that I'm targeting currently. Framber's in the mix, but this Detroit team looks pretty good. I think he could get hit pretty hard in this scenario. Framber, like, he's just a tough roster. I'm Xing Gavin Williams, just walks too many batters. It's good pitching weather there, but I like the Seattle offense. I don't want to pay $8K for Gavin Williams on the slate. That's mainly my pitching pool. Michael King I'll have in there. I'm building a bunch of teams, but I'm probably only playing 3, so just kind of thinking through everything right now.
I like Framber a good bit. Just that San Diego offense, they're just really contact heavy. 18.5% as far as Ks versus lefties last season. And Framber's a good pitcher, but his best skill is not striking people out. His best skill is getting ground balls, getting quality starts. But, he does have an elite K rate, 23.3%. He's good. I just don't think he's not going to be the top pitcher in the slate. He might be in the podium, maybe, possibly, but he doesn't have a massive ceiling here against San Diego. And, I guess later on the season you can get complete games out of him. I guess in theory you still can't today, but unlikely you rarely get that the first time around. You mentioned Sheehan. I like the stuff. It's just the only issue with him is the potential pitch count. We currently have that as one of the lowest on the board at 80. He's got a good offense behind him. If he goes 5, he probably gets that W. He'll take those points. You have any take on the names being thrown out here, Kirkwood? I know you threw out some guys, but, Framber joining the conversation. Gavin Williams, who's to me just seems pretty unnecessary. He could be fine, but there's no point. It's on a different slate maybe. I'll circle back in 5 days. Any take on the names getting thrown out here? Gausman I'm not really in on. I think he's fine-ish. I think he'll get some support, some offense behind him for the W, but the Athletics have some tough bats too. Jump in here, Kirkwood. You're on mute again.
God damn it. The way I summed up pitcher is so basically Sandy's my number 1. Push him aside. Then I'm battling between Chris Sale, Kirby, Reagan's, or Burrow. And I'll just say that Bobby hit on it, the numbers on Reagan's, but it's a much smaller sample size for Reagan's. We didn't see him a ton last year, but he does have the metrics, right? He's got the metrics. Kirby's got the matchup of those 3 because Cleveland does strike out more than we think. There's like a big, nice middle spot there with a bunch of high K hitters all aligned next to each other. So that's the matchup. And then Sale is Sale. He's just the best overall, but it's also that Kansas City doesn't strike out a ton. Now, anybody on their best, on any day can a pitcher on their best day can mow down anybody, especially Sale. So I think he's safe and everything, but I'm kind of playing off of him tonight, and hopefully that works. Now with Sheehan, Sheehan's got great numbers. He doesn't have great, length for starts. Plus, he was sick for a lot in the spring training, so I don't expect him to go super long tonight. So I'm kind of throwing him out. And then who else did he say? Oh, Gavin Williams.
Gavin Williams.
Yeah, I mean Gausman's. I'd rather play the A's for the power bats.
Same.
First start of the season for him. He's erratic. Had that one really big outlier K year, but fell back to earth last season. So I'd rather play the A's. And Gavin Williams has a good matchup with Seattle. He's got a ton of talent. He's someone I'd played in spots last year, and I got wrecked a lot of the times, and sometimes I had some great starts because it's all about command with that guy. So we got to see it. He walks too many, and he can't throw his heat where he wants it to be. But he does have heat, and he does have a lot of talent, so he could be good. Might start off awesome, but I'd rather, like Bobby said, I'd rather play some Seattle bats.
We got a pitcher's duel in San Fran, by the way. Top of the 6, 0-0. 0-0 Schlittler versus Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray, 0 walks through 5. And good for him. All right, 0-0 in San Fran. We don't care about that, but I just figured that was worth acknowledging. I do want to talk about our tiers. I want to throw some teams in some tiers. Am I jinxing something? Is Aaron Judge at the plate right now? Jinxes don't work. Come on, they aren't real. That's today's poll. Are jinxes real? Jinxes aren't real. Okay, so let me introduce today's tier category. I did an homage to the two of you. You guys are talking about how the world is against Boston. Everybody's against Boston. I power ranked Massachusetts-based movies.
We've done this before.
Well, maybe if you would have answered the DM, you could have.
How you like them apples?
You could have done some pre-show work if you wanted. You could have participated. You chose not to.
I was talking to you. You got me distracted.
Yes, all day long. So that's today's category. It was an homage to you, Bobby. You don't like an homage? All right.
No, homages are fine. They're fine.
So let me know in chats the best and worst Massachusetts-based movies. You got one, Kirkwood? What's the best Massachusetts-based movie?
I have no idea. I mean, I love what's the one with I love The Town.
Okay.
What's the one with Jack Nicholson?
Departed.
Departed. Love that. I don't know. Those love Good Will Hunting.
Okay, there you go. You're getting warm now.
I like them all. What else am I missing?
Dean's favorite movie is Good Will
Gone,
Hunting.
Baby Gone. Is that up there for you?
I mean, it's a good movie, but you can't list everything, right? And the way the board works, you got to have some stinkers as well, and that's the issue. There's too many good ones. Hey,
Fever Pitch.
You know what? That just might be on the board, but in the wrong direction. I see TJ in chat. Spidey bombs are lurking. I believe it's based upon TJ can confirm the number of likes we get. Ketel Marte plus 425 is hitting the board there. We did, I don't know how, but we got a winner in one on today's Film Friday. We'll keep dropping the clues just for fun, but yeah, we did get a winner in just one. IBC in chat took it down in one. That's it wasn't even like a great clue. But somehow IBC
They're never great clues.
The first clue is never spectacular. The first clue is usually kind of, not super obvious. Week 3 of RG Premium coming your way. We'll keep dropping those clues. Mystic River in chat, American Hustle. Yeah, those did not make the board. Let's go ahead and give the board a big old reveal. Bobby kind of spoiled it. Yeah, he knows. Bobby knows I like Good Will Hunting, so that is number 1 on the board. Number 2 was Shutter Island. It's really, really solid, really good. Good reveal. Kind of in the middle is the old Perfect Storm. That's a boat that outside of. That's a crab boat. Is it crab? I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't recall. Lobster. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. And then there's Fever Pitch for you, Kirkwood. And then the worst one.
What the hell's That's My Boy? Is that like a Kevin James movie or something?
It's close. Adam Sandler is like the father of Andy Samberg.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you're better off for it.
Sounds pretty good though.
Steve got upset when he saw he was not happy when he saw it in the 5-hole. So apparently Steve's a fan of That's My Boy, but maybe I need to re-see it again. I don't know. It's been a while. I saw it once and I was good, but Steve was not happy when I put it in the 5-hole. I see that the chat's participating as well. Yeah, Steve's vouching for it in chat. There you go. That is our board. Athletics, Toronto, 8.5 total. Gaussman versus Luis Severino. A little bit bummed that Varsho is hitting in the 6-hole for Toronto and not the 2, but they put Luke's in the 2 spot. I still like Varsho a good bit, but kind of a bummer for me. They do have a team total closing in on 5. Kirkwood, you tell me, where does Toronto go on the board for you?
You got to put him in second. So
the judge is Homer.
Dude, you're a jinx, bro. You're a jinx. Unbelievable.
I did that.
Like you didn't know.
Judge.
Wow, if it's it was a tight game, it was 0-0.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not like Judge. It's more usually like 8-0 or something when he hits one or something.
Well, it's only the second game of the year. It's not the playoffs. So
yeah. Or the WBC.
There you go. Kirkwood, Blue Jays, what do you got?
Oh, Shutter Island. Blue Jays and Athletics in Shutter Island.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I was going to have you do Toronto, and like if Bobby disagrees, I mean, that's fine. That's just I didn't lay this out to you, but like this is what we did with Cheese and Carter the other day. Yeah. So you're saying it goes in Shutter Island, and I was Bobby disagrees. We just move on. He can add on if he wants, and then Bobby does Athletics. You can kind of counterpoint if you want to counterpoint, but you can just work with both those, Bobby. How does that work for you, Toronto and the Athletics?
You can leave Toronto and Shutter Island for sure. I do like Gosman on the slate, so I'm going to knock the Athletics down. I know Langliers and Kurtz have been hot, and obviously Rooker's in that lineup. Lawrence Butler's dropped down. Soderstrom had a really rough spring. I don't like the back end of the order at all.
Yeah, horrible back end.
Yeah, so for me, Toronto's and Shutter Island. I think guys like Vlad Guerrero, Dean hit on Varsho. Like, I don't mind that Varsho's hitting in the 6 hole at all. Like, that's especially in higher stake stuff. Like, people just don't want to play the back end of the order. Maybe knocks down his ownership a little bit. Springer had a rough spring too. I'm fine with the Blue Jays and Shutter Island for sure. Athletics, I'm dropping down.
Man, I was hoping one of you guys would put Toronto and Goodwill Hunting. They're one of my favorite teams on the board, and I saw TJ and Sats saying I know TJ's got a little bit of a bias, but I'm actually with TJ today. Toronto's one of my favorite teams, right there with the Dodgers tonight. But we're going to keep them in Shutter Island.
Are they in comparison with the Dodgers though? Like,
probably not. But when you factor in ownership, I guess But Varsho in the 6 hole last year, players that have 200 at bats versus righties, he had the 3rd highest ISO in all of baseball. So, tons of power. Severino got pretty lucky when it comes to homer and the fly ball stuff. His homers went down last year, but I think that's going to spike back up, especially, not today relevant, but his home ballpark is going to yield a fair bit of homers. But I will keep.
What's influencing me is that I've seen Severino look completely different in the WBC. He probably won't look like that again, but like it's in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's definitely had times where he's been really good. I don't disagree. It's a fair point. But we're gonna stick with that. Athletics in the middle, Toronto in Shutter Island. Bobby, you got to tell me about the Marlins and the Rockies. 8 total. Marlins one of the bigger team totals on the board at 4.5. Austin Slater is leading off here. Lefty Masher, he's not good against righties. He's better against lefties than he is against righties. We did mention Christopher Morel was scratched. Agustin Ramirez, pretty solid catcher. As far as the Rockies, their team totals at 3. Their best hitter, I would say, is their catcher in Hunter Goodman. If you want to get a little leveragey, that's probably the spot to go. TJ Rumfield is a punt first baseman. Some power in the minors, former Yankee. I think he had 30 homers in the minors a couple of years ago, but he's not young. He's like 25. So he's not necessarily a little bit of a prospect, I suppose. Bobby, Rockies, Marlins, you can pick whichever team you want, and then Kirk will take the next one.
Yeah, I'll take the Rockies. Hunter Goodman, just incredible power. If I wasn't playing so much Alcantara, I'd be interested in Hunter Goodman, especially at the catcher position. So in larger field stuff, if you're trying to go against Alcantara, I think Goodman makes a good bit of sense. Ezekiel Tovar, 3,500. These guys are cheap. They're very cheap. And they're the Rockies, right? Like, they're away from core, so price is justified. You hit on Rumfield, 2,100 for Rumfield. Jordan Beck, I don't mind at 2,900. The Rockies aren't a team like, if I'm placing them, I'm going to place them in fever pitch. They're not going to be in That's My Boy, because I do think there is value here. I would imagine Kirkwood's probably dropping them lower because he's in on Alcantara, like most of the field. Like I'm in on Alcantara as well, but I just think there's a little bit more value in some of the Rockies. If you want to pivot and play them, I think it's fine. And then the Marlins, outside of Augustine Ramirez, like their total's really good, but I just don't really love the bats. So I'm going to put them in the perfect storm. They're going to be above the Rockies, but they're not really a team that I want to stack too much. Like 5-man stack, this team's kind of difficult. Augustine Ramirez, Slater, Norby maybe. There isn't much that I love, but their total is what it is, and their prices are cheap. So, yeah.
So we got Marlins in perfect storm and Colorado in fever pitch. By the way, I feel like our poll is going to be slanted now. The jinx is real with now it's Stanton going yard. So back-to-back homers there apparently for the Yankees. It was just 0-0, and maybe a bad time to ask about jinxes, but small sample size. That's my counterpoint. 3 more likes. We get a second Spidey bomb from TJ. We'll give you a second clue as well for Film Friday, but again, that's already been ruined. Lord is the second clue. Dream and Lord. Kirkwood, how do we feel about Bobby's placement of the Rockies and the Marlins? Are we good with it? Any issues?
I would stick them down to the Sandler movie at the bottom there, and only because of their incredibly high K rate outside of cores and their incredibly small WRC plus by like a mile dead last on the road in a tough, a good pitcher's park against a tough pitcher. So I just don't. I mean, I did see that they added Donald Rumsfeld's grandson batting 5th, TJ Rumsfeld. Saw that. So
is that true? I didn't know that.
It doesn't really move the needle for me.
No, wait, no, it's Rumfield. That was a chop fact. For a second there, you had me. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It might as well be Johnson. It's a different last name. I'm going to keep Colorado in fever pitch just because how popular Sandy's going to be. And I have if I'm not playing Sandy, I really want to play Goodman. Like, that's something I'm strongly considering. So not that I want to play a full Rockies stack, but I think there's a couple pieces there. I don't mind Rumfield as a punt. And the Marlins I would put in the middle. So I don't love the Marlins lineup, but Freeland probably the worst pitcher pitching today. It's he's selling the podium of the worst of the worst. Okay. Royals, Braves. This is a legit pitcher's duel. Better hitting environment, but the pitchers are so good, and the weather doesn't matter if you can't hit the ball. And Sale and Reagans, they missed a ton of baseballs. I'm really, really bullish on Acuna this year for a bounce back season. They got the old Mets first base coach. They're talking about running more this year. Acuna, World Baseball Classic is Venezuelan ball stuff. I think it was Venezuela. The winter ball stuff. He ran a ton. I think he's going to run a lot this season. Drake Baldwin in the 2-hole, by the way. That's good to see for the catcher. I just don't really want to pick on Reagans. Reagans is reverse splitsy, so even the righties I don't love. This is Bobby's board. Royals.
Oh, this is Kirkwood's.
Oh, Kirkwood. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my apologies. Kirkwood, Royals, Braves. Where are you placing them?
So I'm just choosing one team.
However you want to do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had Bobby.
Just do both.
Bobby changed it up, but Bobby just ranked them both. So
I mean, this is where there's leverage. So on either side. So I'm not going to put them down low. The pitching is too good for me to really put them up high. But I think based on leverage alone, you can put them in the middle tier.
Okay, Bobby, do you agree with Atlanta in the middle, and how do you feel about Kansas City?
I'm in agreement with Atlanta in the middle. With Kansas City, I'm probably going to put Kansas City with the Rockies. Obviously, Bobby Witt and Pasquantino, they're great hitters. It's just a matter of the rest of the order, and not really interested in the rest of the Royals. So I'm going to put the Royals down in fever pitch.
Did we forget something, Bobby?
What was
a little fettuccine Friday for Vinny?
Oh, fettuccine Friday, yeah. Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah, Sale versus lefties is so good.
Like fettuccine Fridays are really good too,
Yeah, and Vinny P, he had that 3-homer game in the WBC. Shout out to him. But I mean, I prefer to play Sal Perez or Witt if I'm going against Sale. Maybe Pasquantino gets to the bullpen. He certainly can hit Sale, but something I want to avoid. I like Carter Jensen, the prospect. We came up last year for a cup of coffee. I think he's going to be good, but again, I'm not playing Carter Jensen left on left in the 9-hole against Chris Sale. Bobby, did you want to reconsider your Kansas City take when you now know that it's Fettuccine Friday, not just Film Friday?
No, the Royals are still going in fever pitch for me. Atlanta can stay in the perfect storm.
Yeah,
Atlanta
and
Kansas City.
Fever pitch for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Dean has to make a decision here.
Kirk, what you're saying, Kansas City in the middle?
I think it's fine where it is. I think it would be for leverage, but it's not the best type of lineup, and they are facing a lefty. So,
yeah, are my eyes funky, or is it like hard to read that board a little bit? Is it the black backdrop that's throwing me off?
It's the black backdrop, yeah.
Okay, so
I just figured it was my vision, but
all right, but I could see it, but it's just it's a little tricky. Oh, Spidey Bomb number 2, TJ Spidey, not a homer either. Dalton Varsho with Spidey Bomb number 2. Do like that call. Angels, Astros, 8.5. Mike Burrows versus Yusei Kikuchi. Do like righty power against Kikuchi. Really, really like Paredes. We did get Pena back today. He was not available to make it opening day, but he's good to go tonight. Bobby, this is your board. Astros, Angels, what do you got?
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to put the Angels mainly. Can I hit on the Astros first, or I'll do the Angels?
Go for it.
All right. No, I'll do the Angels. So Neto, Trout, Adele for sure. These guys, I think, relative to their price, they definitely have like ceiling potential, and Framer can get blown up. I don't know. I'll just put them in the perfect storm. The Astros, the Astros are in Shutter Island, right, with the Blue Jays for me. Jordan hit one off the roof the other night.
Foul ball.
Is it Cam Smith? What's Cam Smith, the lefty there, their lone lefty?
I think he's a righty, Cam Smith.
He's a righty.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, I like Cam Smith a good bit.
I love Cam Smith.
You hit on Paredes. I think he hit one out opening day, or had a really good day opening day. So those 3 Astros, I really like the Astros. Astros right next to Toronto for me. I just can't really put anyone in Goodwill Hunting that's not the Dodgers with this Dodgers lineup.
All right, Kirkwood, what do you got? Angels, Astros. Do we agree? Do we disagree with the placement here by Bobby?
Yep. Angels, I'm fine there only because of Mike Trout is feeling healthy and looked good in opening day, and
Jack in the bag.
Yeah, it's a scary guy to face when he's back. And Neto's pretty solid, but other than that, I could care less about this lineup. So I think you had it fine. And I'm pitching Burrows tonight. So
wow, really?
Yeah.
On DK is your SP2?
He is my SP2 on DK, and he is my SP1 right now on FanDuel, which I'm a little worried about for pitch count, but I like my bats. As far as liking the Astros, so yes, the Astros were pretty bad last year, and hopefully they do better this year. But this is a prime lineup, so I mean they're literally all righties except for one, Jordan, who's one of the best left on left hitters in the game. So this if they can't do some damage tonight, then I don't know. Against Kikuchi, who struggles with righties more from a K percentage, gives up bombs, fly ball pitchers. So this is as good as a spot we're going to see for this actual matchup. So I Bobby's right. The Dodgers are a tier in their own. So I think right there in Shutter Island is where the Houston belongs.
LM in chat is saying BBP for Jordan. We don't have chop with the BBP model, but I didn't look at BBP.
Well, I didn't even see if I had that tab again. Shame on me. Shame on me.
You don't need it. You don't need the BBP model. I'm curious what it is now, Jordan versus Kikuchi. I feel like he's got a handful of homers against him. Now I'm pulling it up. He is 10 for 28 with 3 homers.
Oh no, where do I go for BVP now? Is Swish done? Swish Analytics?
I Googled and I got RotoWire has a page for it apparently.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily endorsing BBP, but there you go. I was hoping one of you guys would put Houston in Good Will Hunting. I love Houston today as well. They're one of my favorite stacks. But again, I guess you're just saying the Dodgers are on their own planet, and I guess that makes sense. Okay.
And I got a question here in chat about Hoosiers. Hank Banners wants to know about the dew point model. I wanted to just give a quick stay tuned, everybody. We're right there at the home stretch here, so there's going to be a big announcement coming soon.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Detroit, San Diego, 7.5. Framber Valdez taking on Mike King. We just got Detroit's lineup. It's Carpenter, Torres, McKinstry, Green, Torkelson, McGonigal. Put him in the Hall of Fame after his debut yesterday. He is the front runner currently, last I saw, for the AL Rookie of the Year. Dingler, Meadows, and Javi Baez, who, man, hopefully it's the last year of his contract for Detroit. Where do you want to put Detroit and San Diego here, Kirkwood?
Well, Michael, what we didn't mention when we probably should have when we were talking pitchers earlier is that Michael King has done anything but pitch like a king during spring training. So there is a lot of concern right now with his form. Maybe he's completely fine. He was working on something and yada, 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 or maybe it's real. So I think there's some potential upside here for the Tigers. I don't like Framber's limits the damage too good. I believe in Framber's skill set, all of them. He does have some bad moments here and there, like every other pitcher in baseball, but you're not going to do well just attacking Framber Valdez over and over and over again. So I would put San Diego down next to the Royals. Next to the Royals. And I would then also put Detroit up above them.
Detroit in the 3 spots, and you got, let's see, we have San Diego in the 4 spot in Fever Pitch. Yeah, I think Detroit's interesting for one-off stuff against King. King had the highest fly ball rate last season amongst all the pitchers throwing baseballs today, and he also had the biggest homer to fly ball rate. And you got a couple guys that have really, really good power against righties, Carpenter and Green, and they're just not going to be owned. I think you're pretty interesting. I don't mind throwing in McGonigal for tournaments. They have the best bullpen in baseball, almost definitely. At least that's what they're projected, and that certainly makes a lot of sense. So maybe pump the brakes on a full stack for Detroit unless you're playing large field stuff. But I do like some one-offs for the Tigers.
You know what I'm laughing about? Look in there. If you notice Javier Baez's walk rate, who's got the lowest walk rate last season? But the fact that it's 2.3% is just hilarious because
Arise doesn't really walk.
He swings at everything.
Arise was 5.5 last year against righties, so yeah, Baez 2% or so. I know he was an all-star, but I think he tapered off pretty quickly last season. And they paid him a good bit too. Like Shador Sanders was also a Pro Bowler. That's probably not a fair comparison, but you know what I mean. Any issues here, Bobby, as far as Detroit and San Diego?
I don't have any issues. Riley Green, Carpenter, the rest of this Detroit lineup, like they obviously have McGonigal coming up. I don't mind Torkelson. I think you can throw him in there, but they're not like going to hit the Shutter Islands here for me. So they're finding the perfect storm. And then Fever Pitch for San Diego. Just don't really love San Diego versus Framber, who does limit damage. It's in that ballpark that in San Diego, which doesn't really concede power. So yeah, Fever Pitch for me for San Diego.
You know what? I'm going to move San Diego down. I'm not playing them either. I know they were already kind of in the gutter there in Fever Pitch. Let's put San Diego at the bottom. First team. I think it's first.
Yeah,
team.
but how are the Rockies ahead of them?
Leverage.
Hunter Goodman, dinger tonight.
I mean, McConjugal also a chop fact here. The son of the man that the McConjugal visit in prison was turned after.
That does not sound in any way correct. Cleveland taking on Seattle, 7 total. Gavin Williams versus George Kirby. 7 total. Seattle's a heavy favorite here. Cleveland barely with 3 runs. You know, that lineup is not very deep. They are playing both Manzardo and Hoskins once again. Good to see Hoskins get on the board with a couple hits last night. I mentioned DeLauder. There's a ton of talent here for DeLauder. Not shocked he banged out a couple homers. Of course, you can't assume that's going to happen, but assuming he's healthy, he's going to be good, I think. Bobby, this is Bobby, this is your board. Cleveland, Seattle.
Yeah, so the Mariners are going to go in Shutter Island for me. Cal Raleigh, I think, is probably my favorite play on the slate from a hitting perspective. Obviously, Ohtani's there. That's not named Ohtani, but he's a lot cheaper than Ohtani. I think Ohtani's 6,500. What's he? 58. So I like Cal Raleigh a good bit. Gavin Williams can walk batters. Randy Arozarena. Josh Naylor, I think, are strong plays. Julio Rodriguez, Brendan Donovan's leading off or projected to lead off. No, it's confirmed. So Dominic Canzone down there in the 7 hole, I don't mind. Kind of like the Seattle team a good bit. And then the Guardians, will put them in the second to last tier. What is it? The perfect storm. You hit on DeLauder, the rookie. He should be good. I'm going to go with the Mariners side and Kirby tonight, though. 2,400 is a good price. Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo. Those guys are probably my 3 favorite Guardians. I guess Kwan's in the mix. Reese Hoskins had a good spring for what it's worth.
He had some years not too long ago. Injuries, of course, and he's old.
Yeah, he's getting up there, a little long in the tooth, but yeah. For me, the Guardians are just going to be the perfect storm and just going to basically have more interest in the Mariners and Kirby.
Hoskins just turned 33. Kirkwood, Seattle in the 2 hole, Shutter Island. We have Cleveland in Fever Pitch 4 hole. Any issues?
2 hole might be a little high for Seattle, but I think it's fine. I'm not going to argue it. I think they have a great top half, like there's like 1 through 5. I mean, even Rayleigh or Canzone can hit a bomb, but that's a really solid. With Donovan leading off, he had a big day yesterday, and Cal Raleigh again. And then if Julio could finally live up to some talent this season.
He always makes to start the year. If you believe in that kind of thing, he's a slow starter.
Yeah, but how big is the sample size there?
Oh, I'm not saying it's necessarily true, but if you look at his career stats, it's only like 3 seasons. This is his 4th season, but for whatever reason, he's always bad out the gate. But I don't know how real that is. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, it's fine. I like the top half of the lineup, so I think they're solid. So mini stacks are totally in play with them too. A 3-piece with like Donovan, Raleigh, Rodriguez, Naylor, or Rosarina, any of those guys. On the other side, I just don't see Cleveland doing much damage against Kirby in that park. So I think they're fine where you have them to Fever Pitch.
Yeah, like J-Ram's not going to be played, and I understand if you're playing large field stuff, but it's just hard. It's hard to click that button against Kirby in that ballpark. But the best nickname I've heard, I don't know who came up with it, but Josh Naylor, Thicky Henderson. Have you heard that? Thicky Henderson for Josh Naylor.
No, but you know what this dude can't do after all these years in baseball, ever since from the Padres? He can't run to first and keep his freaking helmet on. You ever notice that? Like it's always gone, his helmet.
He can run the second and still bases. At least last year.
Put a little sticky something in there or something. I don't know.
We've teased it a couple times throughout the show. Dodgers 5.25 team total against Ryan Nelson, Ohtani, Tucker, Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, Teoscar, Pages, and Alex Freeland in the 9 hole. They're minus 250 favorites against the D-backs. Sheehan, good pitcher. Just the only issue here is how stretched out he's going to be. Dodgers, Arizona, Kirkwood. The honor is yours. Steve's already assuming he knows where they go. I presume he's on it.
Well, we're gonna put the Dodgers there, even though I'm a little hesitant because it's ring night over there, and every team always is horrific on their ring night.
It wasn't ring night game 1.
I don't know. It's tonight. I think I saw the tweet from Magic Johnson saying it's tonight, unless it was a tweet that was sent out yesterday that I didn't.
Why wouldn't they do it the first game?
I don't know. I don't make the rules. Maybe they wanted to ease in, Maybe there was something else planned for the first night.
I think Magic threw out the first pitch last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, then then I noticed it. I didn't watch the game last night. I was watching college basketball. So I mean, they're so much better than every other offense in baseball. It's a shame. Cheese wrote about it, and then they get a home run from Pages, who's the worst batter like I've ever seen. From last year. Period. Like, yeah, that's the picture. He wanted to be Tom Brady.
It is tonight.
It is tonight. Thank you. So you can ask Magic why they're doing it tonight.
I'll TM.
Yeah. So I mean, this lineup's insane. So Shohei, Tucker, Mookie, I think he's going to have a comeback season this season. Freddie, Will Smith, Muncy had a really big spring. Teoscar is always like I won't play Pages even if he keeps hitting homers because I'm damaged. I thought he was the worst hitter in baseball last season. And then
you're being hyperbolic. You're not for real with that, are you?
I think he's terrible. And I called the same thing with Outman. When everyone was like crowning him in the beginning of his,
you're right about Outman.
I was like, this guy's terrible. I went and did a deep dive into all of his metrics, and everybody was ignoring the fact that he couldn't hit. He just had some lucky homers.
Outman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people were glazing him big time in his rookie season. I think Pages is terrible. He hit a homer yesterday. Great. But everyone else I love 1 through 7.
He did save the Dodgers season last year, by the way, in the field. We'll give him that, right?
Sure.
He saved this. The two guys collided. You remember this play? I'm sure TJ remembers. Sorry, TJ. But he made a spectacular play, and then Miguel Rojas, of all people, it's a homer. Did you place Arizona anywhere?
Oh, I remember that. Arizona, I kind of like. What's funny is that TJ's put him as a Spidey bomb, but he was going to be one of my Juggalo bombs, was Ketel Marte. But Sheehan has been sick. Like I said, he was battling a sickness in the spring, almost like a Porzingis type sickness. Not quite so bad, but yeah, well, it shouldn't be. Anyways, I think there's a decent chance that he's not in good form tonight. And if that's the case, then the Diamondbacks are a team that can do a lot for DFS scoring when they run the bases too on top of it. And they could do some damage. We'll see if this is a rejuvenant to Nolan Arenado's career. But I'm rooting for the guy personally. But we'll see. But I'll put them higher. I kind of want to put them there right now, but I could where they are, Steve. But I could also go lower one as well. So either the second or third tier.
Tier 3 would look just perfect, right? It would be synchronized, right?
Yeah, sure. Synchronize it.
Well, Bobby, you have any issues with the Dodgers in Tier 1, Arizona in the perfect storm?
I don't have any issues with the Dodgers in Tier 1. Been saying it throughout the show. I will say the Dodgers, these guys are outside of Ohtani. Kyle Tucker, 5,500. Betts, 4,500. Freeman, 4,700. Will Smith, 4K. Muncy, 4,200. I think the move is to be underweight Ohtani and kind of play all these other Dodgers. I'm fine with Pages, just being in this order, 3,700, batting 8th. Just Teoscar Hernandez is batting 7th on this team. He'd be batting probably 4th for the Red Sox. So, yeah.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Red Sox have a potent lineup, though.
They do have a potent lineup for sure. For me, my favorite Dodgers probably Mookie Betts. I think the turnaround's coming this season. I know he had a bad year last year. Really like the Dodgers. And then on the Diamondback side, I'm fine what are they in the 3-hole? Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll. Those are the two main guys. Lawler down there in the 7-hole at 2,200. I think he's viable. Wait to see on Arenado. I know he's projected about 5th. Did we get their lineup?
Yeah, they're all in. You got to hit refresh, Bobby.
Yeah.
3 holes
Diamondbacks.
I got a quick question for Bobby. Bob, Tatum, not your guy. You were out on the Celtics for a while.
I'm in on the Celtics now.
Now you're in on them? Okay,
Yeah.
It's good to have you. I know the Bruins you were out on because of the traffic concerns. And then
I'm out on the Bruins.
And then I never really got an opinion on the Red Sox, I don't think.
I love the Red Sox mainly because I just always love the Red Sox. But the thing about I like the Red Sox and everyone thinks they're going to stink. And I've been listening to sports radio and everyone seems to think like this team doesn't spend money. I think they've built a pretty solid roster, like overall.
Roman's winning MVP this year.
Yeah, and their farm system's really good.
And our pitching staff, I mean, please.
I think the Sox could make a run. I haven't looked at odds.
People want to glaze the Orioles and stuff when we,
no, we're better than the Orioles. Yeah. And then like people are upset about Bregman.
Get him out of here.
I like Contreras. Is that's who they got?
We've got there. Durbin. No, we've got Durbin. Yeah, we got Contreras.
Durbin. Yeah. So. Yeah, Durbin's from Milwaukee, right? Do they have him playing third or second? Where's he playing?
Third. He's playing third. It's mostly for defensive purposes, but hopefully,
yeah, he's a tough out, Durbin. So
the Red Sox are not on the slate. Let me go ahead and recap this. We have the knockout position by position. We got to get back on track here, boys. Okay, so we did power rank. I power ranked Massachusetts-based movies. Tier number 1, Good Will Hunting. Only one team in that tier. It's the Dodgers. No shock there. Tier 2, Shutter Island. We got Toronto, Seattle, and Houston right in the middle. Perfect storm. Detroit, Arizona, Atlanta, Anaheim, the Athletics, the Marlins, Fever Pitch, Tier 4. That is the Rockies, Kansas City, Cleveland. All the way at the bottom, the only team by themselves there at the bottom, it's San Diego. All right, we got to go position by position. We'll give the fourth clue as well if you're playing along for Film Friday. We did get a winner in one. It was a miracle. I don't know how it happened, but shout out to IBC. Animated was the fourth clue. Animated, and we'll drop the fifth clue soon enough. Okay, position by position, circling back. We got about 40 minutes until first pitch. Plenty of time. Pacing a little bit better. The extra 15 minutes are helping. Yesterday, we had a little overtime. Not letting that happen today. Okay, position by position, and please point out specifics as far as what players better on FanDuel, better on DK, yada, yada, all that good stuff. I'm going to ask Kirkwood to start us off. Catchers, how you feeling about catchers on this slate?
Oh, I love catchers. Feeling great about the catchers. So we're gonna go Will Smith. Wait, so we're just going position by position, right?
You tell me your favorite players. Yeah, who you like at the catcher position?
Okay, sorry. Will Smith, number 1. Number 2, I actually, I'll say Cal Raleigh. Then Augustine Ramirez. And then Bangaliers. 4. A nice 4-piece for you.
Okay.
I mean, do you want more? You want me to name more? You need to save some more. Need to save some money. Go down to Yiner Diaz, but he's batting 8th in the order. And it wouldn't be right if Kirk Diggler didn't mention Dylan Diggler.
Bobby, a lot of names there. You talked about Kyle Rowley before, the old big dumper. Of course, he's going to cost you. He's a guy that I know Kirkwood's been talking about how players have been doing in the WBC and in spring training. I know Rowley wasn't good in WBC.
No, and what's the whole no fist bump or handshake to his teammates? I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I wasn't like mad about it, but the guy's giving you a fist bump. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, you guys are teammates. It's like
I think Rosarena made too much of it though.
It's one thing in like UFC where like they don't touch gloves in the middle. I get it. These guys are about to beat the crap out of each other, but
Yeah. So catcher for me, Raleigh's up top. Other than Ohtani, I think he has probably the second highest ceiling on the slate. And he's cheaper than Ohtani by like 1,000, so or 800. From there, Augustine Ramirez versus Kyle Freeland, 3,900 for Augustine Ramirez. I think he's in a really strong spot, and this Marlins team has a 5-run total or close to it, so like him a good bit. Will Smith, 4K. I'll take 4K for Will Smith just to have equity in that Dodgers lineup. Hunter Goodman, like him a ton. I think he's going to have a big year. I know it's outside of Coors. He still has a ton of power. It doesn't really matter. I think where he's hitting, even though it matters for the rest of their offense, I would say. Bangaliers, 4.7K, right behind Goodman. And then I'm going to go Drake Baldwin, batting the 2-hole versus Reagans. He's in the 2-hole. I like Reagans. Probably not going to roster a lot of Drake Baldwin, but I think it's good to mention him. And then Dingler would round it out.
Do want to shout out TJ in the chat. TJ and Spidey. Spidey doing all the work. TJ just giving you guys regurgitating. Spidey bomb number 3 is Addison Barger. What do you know? Another Blue Jay. Surely just a coincidence. I like both these guys.
I'm gonna have to put him in timeout. I'm gonna have to time out him somehow.
Spidey bomb number 4, Nathan Lukes. Spoiler alert, Nathan Lukes. Keep in that like button, you get more Spidey bombs. Spidey, keep him working. We need first baseman now. Speaking of, a pretty good first baseman there for the Blue Jays. Bobby, what do you got at first?
Yeah, Otani's going to be the top, whether you play first base or outfield, just highest ceiling on the slate. Then in that Blue Jays game, Vlad Guerrero, 5'9" versus Severino. Sevy had a good WBC. I don't really care. Vlad, I think, is very strong in that spot. Nick Kurtz, same game versus Gosman. Nick Kurtz just shows a ton of power. He's shown a ton of power since coming up to the big leagues. Really like him. Freeman, 4-7 versus Rin Nelson. Just more equity to that Dodgers lineup. I think he's really strong play. Josh Naylor versus Gavin Williams. Williams going to walk a good bit of guys. Revenge narrative for Naylor there. I think he's hitting in the 4-hole, so I like him a good bit.
Dickie Henderson.
Yeah. And then Kyle Manzardo versus Kirby. I think Kyle Manzardo goes yard tonight versus Kirby. Just got a feeling.
Keep those homers in your back pocket. We're going to give those away when we're done position by position, one at each level. By the way, TJ called me out, and he's right. TJ got me. Lucas. It's not Luke's. I don't know why I said Luke's. It's Lucas. Lucas with the lid off. That's how you pronounce
him. Luke's for like a year, 2 years now since he's been on Luke's.
Yeah, bad job of me. Just forgetting. I'm a little bit rusty, I suppose. But yeah, Nathan Lucas is batting second there for Toronto. First baseman, Kirkwood, what do you got?
I mean, it's all the same. It's Shohei number 1, Nick Kurtz number 2, Freddie Freeman number 3, Vlad Guerrero number 4, and then I would say for a little bit less money, Christian Walker be next. And
doesn't he stink?
He does. He does.
Stink. Better than him.
He did stink last season, but he hasn't stunk his whole career. So He did battle injuries, and so we don't know. The story hasn't been written. I tend to think that he's probably going to stink this season as well. But 4K, he could hit a bomb today.
If you can do it, you can do it against Kikuchi, especially down the old Crawford boxes. If he gets a hold of it, if he pulls one down the line. I made a couple of Houston stacks, and I did not play Walker, and I just mushed them. So now, if the mush is real, that means that Christian Walker is going yard, right? If you believe in such things. What was our answer, by the way, as far as jinxes? Are jinxes real or not? Did we get a final
number? Of course they're real.
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, boy. Second base, Kirkwood.
Second base. This is the tough position. So I think I'm not paying for him, but if I had all the funds, I would play Ketel Marte. I unfortunately am playing Altuve. He may be on his way out too, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling them in this matchup. I kind of think they're gonna be better than what we're expecting this season. So Altuve is fine for me. Ozzie Albies is a guy that it's against Reagans, yes, but he's always hit left-handed pitching much better. So he's batting third. He's only 4,100. Gleyber Torres is interesting. Donovan, 3,800 looks pretty nice to me. I would have no problem playing him as a one-off somewhere. And people are probably going to play Freeland for 2,100. Just take the savings, I think, but I'm not.
Yeah, he's in the 9-hole. I don't know if I like that or not. He is cheap, and at second base, it's a bad position, and part of the stack, that kind of thing. I can see why you'd play Freeland, but also he seems like a guy that's probably like to get the pinch hit at some point. He's a switch hitter, but we'll see. He is not as good as Pa is, according to their manager at least. Bobby, second base, keystone position.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Altuve, the little guy. He's gonna be at the top. If I have the money like Kirkwood, I think it's pretty easy. Altuve. I like Brendan Donovan a good bit at 3.8K. I want to put him ahead of Marte. I'm going to do that. Marte, I like Sheehan. Kirkwood like Sheehan. Marte is pretty much going to be the third guy in for me, followed by Albies versus Reagans. And it gets kind of thin really fast. It's tough. Jonathan India is back in our lives, not playing him versus Sale. Gleyber Torres versus King, I don't hate a ton. Like if you're playing larger field stuff and you want to have a Detroit 5-man stack, I think he's probably the fifth guy in. Cole Young for Seattle, 2,200. Ryan Rocchio for Cleveland. That's like stuff I'm just getting just to save money, but that's mainly second base.
Fifth clue for Film Friday, if you're still playing along, is green. So all 5 clues are out. We did already get a winner. Dream, Lord, Rescue, Animated, and green. I should mention the Bat X, Derek Carty. It's an add-on for the 2026 season, separate add-on sub. New this year from the Bats, you get MLB betting picks and Combo Pro. We have a deal coming right out the gate here, $64.99 for Combo Pro. That's the same price as MLB would be just by itself, a la carte. You sign up for it. It will renew for the regular monthly price. This is football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA, WNBA, all the sports with the exception of NASCAR, all the articles, all the bells, all the whistles, SimLabs, Lineup HQ, premium articles, Dave Potts' article. It'll be $119 as far as the renewal price, but you get the first month, the standard just baseball price, $64.99. Second base, or you guys? No, third base to Kirkwood.
I think it's Bobby actually.
Bobby, third
Is
base.
it me? Yeah, it's probably me. Top play at third base for me is Jose Ramirez. No one's playing him. I think it's worth a shot versus Kirby, especially if you're leaning the Alcantara side. Is like if you're picking between those two guys as your second pitchers in. You go Alcantara. I think Jose Ramirez makes a good bit of sense. I'd go Addison Barger as my 2 guy at third base position. Max Muncy is my 3rd guy in. Paredes is my 4th, although I should probably have him higher because he's definitely going yard tonight versus Kikuchi.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then Riley. I don't love him, but I guess first Reagans, he says reverse splitsy. So I don't love Riley. Just doesn't make a ton of sense. But just throwing it, Yoan Moncada, just throwing out names at this point. That's mainly third base.
We're going to hit pitcher as well. I see people asking about pitcher. We talked about it earlier, but we should reiterate. It is a long show. I see questions rolling in. Try and save your questions if you're on the YouTube just for a few minutes. If you want to get it prioritized, you want to get the the fast pass as far as questions, get the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. There are no longer movie guesses coming on through, so it is clean. The runway is good to go. If you have any baseball questions, those questions are prioritized first, and then we'll circle back. And again, I don't really want to scroll up. So if you've already asked a question, please ask it again once we're done, and we'll knock it out for you. What do you have at third, Kirkwood?
So Juggalo Bomb. Well, I'm just going to announce. So Carlos Correa, ultimate potential washed guy, struggled in Minnesota, but, got a good contract back to Astros, got to the whole coming home, thing. He did hit a homer in spring training. And so I think he's going to take Kikuchi deep tonight. He's only 3,200. You can play him at third or short. And he's cheap on FanDuel as well. I think he's 2,800 over there. So we'll see how this ends up. But I like him. I like Max Muncy, who had a great spring. I like Paredes, like Bobby likes. I think he's fine. Addison Barger. Did I pronounce that right? I don't even know because I don't ever watch Toronto game. I never watch Toronto games.
What's wrong with the Blue Jays? They're a pretty fun team.
Oh, they turned down the great offer of our president in chief to join the United States, and they turned it down. So if they don't want us,
Blue Jays just turned it down. Okay, I didn't know it was up to them, but okay, I missed that. All right, shortstop. Or you got it, Kirkwood?
Yeah, I got it. That's how we do it. We flow from third. Now I just finished third. Start shortstop.
Fire away.
Correa again. Mookie Betts. It's the top play. I don't know what to expect from Pena. 4,300. It's fine. Neto is good too. I would kind of keep it in that range, or yeah, that's the range I would keep it in. So like Correa for the cheap, Mookie for spend, and then Neto or Pena kind of right in the middle there.
Keep hitting that like button. You'll keep getting Spidey bombs. We do appreciate when you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. Bobby, shortstops.
Yeah, Betts is going to be the top one for me, followed by Neto, followed by Bobby Witt, followed by Tovar, followed by Pena. Correa just seemed bad in the spring. Didn't have a great ISO. I lean to the side that he's washed. But if Kirkwood says he's going to hit a home, if he does have his home run tonight, I don't see him hitting another one.
He's maintained hitting left-handed pitching pretty well, so I'm sticking to that.
He's only 31, but it's weird because Houston feels like they have multiple guys that could be washed. Walker, number one, potentially Altuve as well. He's 35. It could be Correa, but he feels like an old 31. I do agree. It's not been great the last couple of years. There were some injuries. I assume Pena's fine with the finger. He didn't play yesterday, but I guess.
Speaking of fingers, remember my finger, my whole escapade? You ever?
You want to give a finger update?
No, it's still bad. They keep trying to zap this thing, and it's starting to improve, but I'm still getting it zapped.
Did we hit on the conjugal visit?
Cryotherapy. Yeah, the conjugal visit.
I don't think you need that when you're just getting your finger worked on. I mean,
my conjugal. My finger's out of commission for that. My finger's out.
What do you think about the McConjugal there?
Yeah, he's cheap.
He's cheap, right?
Yeah, like him. Batting sixth is
he
nice.
very much
I think King's been terrible so far, and we don't know what version we're going to get of him. So, yeah.
I'm Bobby.
Yeah, outfield.
Yeah. Give me the outfielders, Bobby.
Ohtani's right up at the top there, followed by Corbin Carroll, followed by Kyle Tucker, Jordan, Acuna, Springer, Varsho, Dean's boy tonight, Dalton Varsho. He's upset he's not batting second. He's batting sixth. I'm fine with him batting sixth. Who else is in there? Addison Barger, you can play in the outfield. Teoscar, love Teoscar. Soderstrom's had a really bad spring. He's still very good at baseball, so I think he makes the list. Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Jorge Soler. Like, those would be the main guys that I'm targeting.
You guys keep mentioning spring stuff, and I just don't think it matters as much as you guys do, I guess, as a general thought. Some players – what do you got?
It doesn't matter. But it's not a bad thing to have. So some guys, if they couldn't hit, if they were injured, and all of a sudden they're, I always look at it too when a guy's come back from injury in his rehab games. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing to have on your side.
Yeah,
so like a guy like Max Muncy who struggles for like a long time and he had a hot spring, then I feel pretty good about him. Like, things like that.
Wasn't Crochet bad in this spring? It's like a lot of times pitchers are just kind of working.
Pitchers differently. Pitchers are definitely working on. Hitters work on things too. Pitchers different. A pitcher can be working on one pitch.
Yeah.
Only, and sit there and try to throw every variation of it and just working on that. And then people are like, "Oh, he got shelled."
Especially vets. I don't really care when it comes to the veteran. They're just figuring out, what how to get back in shape and how to get what works. And like you said, a certain pitch we're not even aware of. They just want to get a pitch down. That's it. Kirkwood, outfield, what do you got?
It's Ohtani, Tucker, Jordan. You can play Teoscar for the cheaper. I can just sit here and just name the whole Dodger lineup.
Yeah.
Other than
Is there Connie in
that,
your main lineup?
yes, and Tucker.
Look at you, you chalk donkey.
Well, I'm playing Burrow.
Yeah, that's true. What would it be different? That's how you make it work too, salary wise.
Yeah. It fits like a glove too. I got in my one play I loved about Cam Smith, 2,700.
Yeah.
On DK 2,500 on FanDuel. I like that. I like Varsho. I think he's strong. I like Rooker. I like those top 4 A's bats are all in play for me. So I definitely like Rooker. And then Barger. I don't know. There's a lot here. I mean, I can just name all these names, but I think I just give a good bunch of home run potential upside plays.
I do want to touch
if you want to be sneaky, like low ownership is going to be like Riley Green.
Yeah, that's who I wrote up Detroit as like my sneaky stack. And if anything, it's going to make a mini stack. But I talked about it, how it was amongst the pitchers throwing baseballs today, the starters, that is. Biggest homer to fly ball rate last year. No, biggest fly ball rate last year was Mike King. And the biggest homers per 9 was King. King, fine pitcher, but he will give up some homers. And against righties, big ISO for Green, big ISO for Carpenter. So I do think they're pretty good. And McGonigal, we don't really know just yet. He's probably underpriced. Give me the homers. Speaking of homers, let's hit all 3 levels, all the way up top, Bobby, mid-tier, and a cheapie. I know you've unleashed a couple as the show has progressed. If you want to recycle them, by all means. But give me 3 homers at 3 different tiers.
I'm going to go J-Ram up top. It's not going to be owned, so that's 1. Let's go Hunter Goodman. And on the low end, let's go McGonigal. McGonigal is it.
Start loading up those questions as well. We're going to circle back for questions after we talk about some pitchers. Kirkwood, Juggalo Bombs, what do you got for me?
Carlos Correa, Ketel Marte, and up top, we're going to see Kyle Tucker hit his first.
Kirkwood, give me a little bit of a recap as far as pitching. Who would you say is the cash game pairing on DK? I think it's Sandy and Sale, most likely.
Sandy Sale. I think you can play Kirby if you could play him in either spot. You could play Kirby, and I think that would still be fine.
FanDuel cash, is it Sandy, or are you spending up a little bit more?
I think it's Sandy, it's Kirby, or Sale again. It's one of the 3. So me personally, I don't think that this is the matchup for Sale, and I don't think this is the very beginning of the season. So paying all that up, I kind of tend to go the other way. But I mean, he is the best pitcher. So I don't know. Who are you taking, Dean? You're going to take Sale, right?
If I can get there, yeah. I have different combinations of both, but right now I think my main lineup I think is Sandy and Sale, and that's pretty chalky. But I also think if I did this correctly, I did it on the fly. My main lineup has got 0 Dodgers in it, I believe, which might be a mistake. We'll see. We'll at least be ahead in theory before 10 o'clock on the East Coast. I think it's a double stack of Toronto and Houston. So there you go. I believe that's where we're at, and just not playing the Dodgers. But again, I'm not sure if that's my main lineup or not. Can't exactly pull it up right this second. What do you want to add, Bobby, as far as pitchers for the people?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the catch game pairing. I think it's Alcantara and Sale. I think Reagans is interesting on the other side. No one's going to play Reagans just because he's going up against Atlanta, and he's a bona fide ace. So I think he's an interesting differentiator. Yeah, that's mainly my thoughts.
We got about 12 minutes until lock, boys. We should tell the people how we got there as far as today's Film Friday. We did have a winner, LBC in chat. Green was the last clue. Again, got it in 1, which is completely ridiculous. But the clues were Dream, Lord, Rescue, Animated, and Green. Dream was inspired by the studio that made it. One of their first big hits, DreamWorks. I don't know how you got to this movie from DreamWorks, but shout out to you. Lord was in reference to one of the characters in the movie. Lord Farquaad? Farquaad, is that correct? I may be mispronouncing that. John Lithgow did the voice because it was animated. There was a rescue mission in this movie. Green is in reference to the cover of Shrek. The
Shrek,
answer,
I was going to say that. Wow.
Shrek was today's film for Film Friday. Okay, looking at the Discord channel, we're going to prioritize these questions first. Let's see. Bill T is saying to Kirkwood, Arenado, didn't Cardi declare him over the hill a couple of years ago? He did kind of sort of say that.
I love when Cardi does that. But
Is
the
that
guy
Cardi's
argued
burner in chat?
but don't forget that he declared Crush. Remember, he would recommend Crush Davis every slate for like 2,200 or 2,400 where the guy could not make contact, period.
Is that Chris Davis with the Baltimore?
Yeah, with a C. Yeah, Baltimore. The guy who's still getting paid, I think.
Good for him.
Runners. He did all the juice, got his contract, then stopped all the juice is what probably happened.
More questions coming on through. Let's see. We got D-Rock here for Bobby. DK tournaments, Sean Well to pair with Trout or Hoskins as a one-off?
I like the Hoskins side. Hoskins had a good spring, so yeah, it might be long in the tooth, but I like Hoskins.
Kirkwood, Jim's got a question for you. Thoughts on Eli White for value on DK tournaments? Eli White?
I mean, he can hit a homer for sure. So yeah, why not? Whatever for TDPs.
Steve, I'm not sure if you've been compiling questions or not, if you're going to throw them up on the screen or not, but I am trying to find some questions now in the YouTube. Doing my best to get there. Let's see. Question for Bobby. Cam Smith or Austin Slater for tournaments?
Cam Smith.
Curious to see the pinch hit risk for Austin Slater. New team, so we're not really sure how the Marlins are going to handle, but historically.
Yeah, they love the platoon.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. I want to see what they do, but I'm a little bit cautious that, when a righty comes in, he might get the hook. Peter Porker, question for Kirkwood. Peter Porkwood, DK tournaments, large field. How about a pitching pairing of Sandy and Burrows to pay up for the bats? Or should I put in Sale? I think that's what you're doing. Oh,
okay.
I can't see it if you're showing me something.
That's because, never mind. I was trying to show you the exact pairing of Sandy and Burrows in my lineup.
Yeah, so you are on board.
Yes.
Let's see. Mabs wants to know, Bobby, is it eating too much chalk in DK single entry tournaments to play Alcantara Kirby only with full Jays and Dodgers mini? Like, it depends who the players are, but what do you got?
Yeah, it depends who the players are, right? Because basically you're going to get guys that up and down the order who are going to be like, if you're if a guy's lower in the order, their ownership's obviously going to be a little bit depressed. So unless it's like who's the 21 Freeland for the Dodgers, who's probably going to be pretty chalky, right? Because he's in that wrap stack right next to Ohtani. So yeah,
I'm not sure, but he is cheap and he plays a crap position, so maybe people just punt it off.
I'm about to punt it off.
Kirkwood, just a follower, wants to know, I have 2K left with FanDuel. Is that a big deal in baseball? I have Brave stack and the Detroit stack with Sandy as my pitcher. So you can jump up and get Sale if you want it, I think.
No, it's actually a good way. It's on a slate like this where it's like 7, but it really doesn't it feel like a 5-gamer as opposed to a 7-gamer? Yeah, I think that's a good way to differentiate yourself.
Kirkwood, Jerry's got 2,700 left, FanDuel cash utility. I'm going to circle back on that, but take a look at the FanDuel pool, $2,700 or less. Who would you play in FanDuel cash? We'll circle back. I'll give you a second.
Position?
Utility.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Bobby, Dalton's got a question. Would you pair 2 starting pitchers tonight to pay up? Would you pair 2 starting pitchers tonight to pay for bats?
I just paired Alcantara and Sheehan. So, yeah, I would.
I don't understand the question. Would you pair 2?
He's pairing like a cheaper starting pitcher with Alcantara, pretty much.
Okay. Am I the only one confused by that question? Maybe it was just me. All right. Kirkwood, $2,700 FanDuel.
I'd say. I mean, I'd take Jorge Soler probably, even against my guy Burrows, just home run hunt. But he's 2,400. But yeah, you're kind of just short on some guys that I that like a little bit more. But or Cam Smith, 2,500.
Kirkwood, give me your favorite FanDuel pitcher. The Prince wants to know.
Sandy.
Let's see. Champion for Bobby. This is DK cash. And yeah, please specify. I appreciate that when you say if it's for cash, or for tournaments, if it's FanDuel, if it's DK, if it's large field. The more details, the better. Bobby, Soler or Cam Smith for DK cash?
I'm going to go Soler.
Lippy's question to Kirkwood: we have 40% Severino and 150 on DK. Is that too much? Is 40% too much Severino?
Well, I'm impressed he's asking about a game that is on the slate. So that good kudos to that, Lippy. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to win. I bumped that up to 100%. No?
You don't think 40? You think 40% is not enough? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we got to get higher after that WBC performance.
No, really. All right. Bobby, Matt wants to know Norby or Otto Lopez for DK cash. Which Marlin?
See who I have more of. Let's go. 1 sec. Sorry, freezing up here. We'll go Norby.
Kirkwood, Peterman wants to know last piece, Slater or Lucas? Slater or Lucas?
Lucas.
We have I think this is a 3v3. Yeah, 3v3 in the Discord here from New Generation for Bobby. 3v3 DK tournaments. Burrows, Correa, and Green, or Kirby, Otto Lopez, Cam Smith?
Kirby, Otto Lopez, Cam Smith.
All right. Back to the YouTube. I'm not sure if did we miss any questions. There might have been some that kind of came through and I missed them, or Steve might have missed them, but I'm not sure. There were some that were asked earlier and I can't find them right now. Bobby, tell me this. Who's the player, the stack? Who are you most afraid of not having enough of? Who's going to beat you?
Afraid of not having enough of Ohtani.
Same question, Kirkwood.
I'm just afraid of having too much Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going to be popular. I'm guessing one of your Dodgers is not Baez.
No.
You just refuse to play him.
You couldn't pay me to play that guy.
I could.
No.
I'll pay for your entry. Play Baez.
No,
Done.
Won't do it. I don't want it coming up on my results DB. I don't want
You're a man of principle.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant says Ernie Clement or Bryce Matthews, large field DK punt. Yeah. Kirkwood, which one do you prefer amongst Bryce Matthews and Ernie Clement?
I'll take the grandson of Roberto Clemente, Ernie Clement.
All right. Let's see. We should be closing and unlock in just a couple minutes here. No weather issues that I've seen. Have you guys seen any weather issues? I don't believe
it was weak. I did a thing I pulled up, but there was nothing really. There's like a little. The Braves game has like a slight bump maybe, and on grading on a curve for this slate, and then it's cold in Seattle.
Okay, and they kind of have that umbrella there. Riley, this is for Bobby. Riley, Will Smith and Cam Smith, two Smiths, or Freddie Freeman and Austin Slater for FanDuel.
Will Smith and Cam Smith.
Are the Dodgers going to win it all again? Are they going to three-peat?
No, the Red Sox.
Oh boy, I love it.
Kirkwood?
It's good to see Bobby with some hometown pride here.
He's got to homerism. If they were bad, he would probably say something else, I would imagine.
I mean, yeah, we'll probably have to wait if they end up being terrible. I did hammer them yesterday betting.
I don't remember. How did that work out?
3-0. They won 3-0.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it was 0-0 for a while, right? Yeah. Okay.
Very disappointing bats, but it was just a tight game.
Yeah, I know they got a good start. I remember Anthony hit a single lead off the game, but I don't.
I mean,
remember.
Anthony was like 3 for 3 with 3 singles or something. But like,
just 21 years old. You bet him? Did you bet him for MVP?
of course, I bet him for MVP.
What was the number? It's got to be big.
I like money. It was like 30-1.
The only bet
But I'm also holding. I also have some Jaylen Brown MVP, which was a good bet in hindsight. But
yeah,
he's just not going to get over that. He won't get the. He doesn't foul bait enough. So.
Oh come on. What do you have as far as?
We just put the belt to the backside. Yeah.
What tickets are you holding right now for Boston? What number?
I've got plenty of Boston tickets. Unfortunately, I have them tied in with UConn Huskies also to win the national championship. Any Husky fans in here? UConn?
Not me. I mean, that's Hurley. God.
Yeah, he's annoying.
When's the World Cup start?
When does it start?
Yeah.
Bobby's a big football guy.
What's that?
Football.
2.5 months, give or take.
Oh, that's going to be miserable.
The only thing I have is a DeLauder. I got a DeLauder like 13-1 to win Rookie of the Year in the American League. I don't think I've got anything else as far as any futures. You got any futures, Bobby?
No futures.
All right. Well, speaking of futures, the end of the show is here. That's it. We just hit lock. We just hit first pitch. And this is no basketball nonsense. First pitches are happening like right now. Well, actually, probably like opening day ceremonies. So maybe
ring ceremonies and things.
Yeah. Well, not every team has a ring ceremony. I saw there was a debate in Toronto as if they should be celebrating, raising the banner. I some kind of like local radio show or something like that. I don't know why they wouldn't be
Toronto.
It was still a great year for them. Obviously, it ended disappointing.
That's pretty Canadian, if you ask me. It's like a participation trophy.
No, you raised the banner for winning the American League.
Yeah, we want chips. We want championships.
This is not a Canadian thing. This is like every team does it when they win their division. You have pennants and banners for things. All right, fair enough. We'll agree to disagree. We got to step aside and get out of here. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Have a good weekend. That was Bobby Gomes. That was Kirkwood. That was producer Steve. Go win some money tonight. We're out of here. Oh.